All right, let's dive into some really fascinating research that basically found a secret ingredient for making government websites work well. And I'll give you a hint, it is absolutely not what you think it is.
You know that feeling, right? You're just trying to do something simple, like renew your driver's license, and you just hit a digital brick wall. But then you go to another government site, and it's smooth, it's easy, it actually works. Why is that? Well, it turns out there's a real scientific reason for that huge difference, and we're about to get into it.
So what we're really talking about here is this idea of e-government. And the whole point isn't just to, stick some paper forms online. The big idea is to use technology to completely rethink public services, make them faster, way more open, and actually give us, the citizens, a better way to get involved.
Okay, so if that's the goal, how do you actually pull it off? What's the magic formula? I mean, if you were in charge of fixing a clunky government website, where would you even start? For most of us, two really obvious things come to mind. First, you'd probably look at the tech, the tools. The solution? Just throw more money at it. Get the newest computers, the fastest networks, the fanciest software. And then you'd look at the management side, the rules. You'd make a better plan, drop some clearer processes, and get all the teams organized. Tools and rules. That ought to do it, right?
I mean, it seems perfectly logical. You get better technology, you combine it with better management, and bam, you should get a successful project. It feels like a straight line from A to B. But the real question is, does that common sense idea actually hold up when scientists put it under the microscope?
Well, that's exactly what one big study set out to discover. Researchers went deep, analyzing 243 super detailed questionnaires from public sector folks in Jakarta, Indonesia, all of them working on e-government projects. They wanted to see what really moves the needle.
And this is where the story takes a huge plot twist. Because when they actually crunched all that data, the obvious answers were just wrong. The results were a massive surprise to pretty much everyone. And here it is, the big shocker. The study found that better technology, all by itself, had no significant direct impact on whether an e-government project succeeded. None. And it was the exact same story for better administrative management. Pouring money into the best tools and drawing up the best plans on their own did not directly lead to better results.
Wow. I mean, that is a huge deal. It turns everything we thought we knew on its head. So if it's not the fancy tech and it's not the perfect project plan, then what is it? What's the real secret ingredient?
Well, the answer, that secret ingredient, is something called knowledge management practices. Let's call it KMP. It's basically a fancy term for how good an organization is at finding, sharing, and actually using what its people know. It's not about the stuff you have, it's about how well your team shares its collective brain power.
Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine you're baking a cake. The technology is your top-of-the-line super fancy oven. The management is a world-class, award-winning recipe. But if the baker has no skill, if they don't know how to actually mix the ingredients or use that oven, you're just not getting a good cake. That skill, that's KMP.
And guess what? The research proves this completely. When the study looked at the direct impact of KMP on success, the result was crystal clear and statistically significant. How well an organization shares what it knows is a direct predictor of success. So hold on. Does that mean we should just forget about buying good computers or having organized teams? No, not at all. It just means their role is a little more subtle than we think. They are absolutely crucial, but their effect is indirect.
Here's the real path to success that the research uncovered. Good tech and good management don't just magically create a successful project. No, what they do is create a better environment for people to share knowledge. They lay the groundwork for a smarter, more collaborative organization. And that is what actually delivers the final result.
So check out the study's final model here. It really lays it all out. You see technology and management over on the left. But look, their arrows don't point directly to success on the right. No, they both feed into knowledge management right there in the middle. KMP is the essential bridge. It's what takes the potential of good tools and good rules and actually turns it into real-world success.
So here's the bottom line. Great tech and great management plans are only effective if they make the whole organization smarter together. Their real value, their only value, comes from how well they help people share ideas and work together.
And this isn't just some abstract idea. The study put a hard number on it.
This whole model, tech and management fueling knowledge sharing, was able to explain 29.6% of the variation between successful and unsuccessful projects. To put it simply, getting this pathway right accounts for nearly a third of what it takes to win.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? First, just buying the newest, shiniest tech isn't the solution. Second, just shuffling the org chart isn't going to cut it either. Real success comes down to how you use that tech and that management structure to get people talking and sharing what they know. That's the secret sauce.
And that really leaves us with one last big question. The most important question isn't, should we buy a new server? The question we all need to be asking is, if knowledge is the true engine of success, how do we build organizations that are brilliant at sharing it? That's the real challenge.